Dylan, you guys didn't lose at home all of last. I'm sorry. Yeah, Dylan, you guys didn't lose at home all last year. How tough is this to handle?
I mean, I think any loss is tough to handle. You don't like losing on the road. You don't like losing at home. We obviously take great pride in defending McLean, and every time we cross the river and play over here, it's important. But obviously didn't play well enough to win today. And so, I mean, thankfully we have a bye week to go into now and learn from things and go about our business and try to turn this thing around a little bit.
Dylan, what do you think was different today about Spencer Sanders as opposed to what you saw last year in Stillwater and then the Big 12 championship game?
Yeah, he's a super dynamic player, and he always has been. I mean, I think going into this game, he was like leading the country in whatever all-purpose yards per game. I don't know. But yeah, super impressive player, really dynamic, and he used his speed well today. He broke our contain, and that's on us too. We got to rush with good rush integrity and good rushing lanes. But I mean, he did a lot of good things to win, and we didn't do enough good things to win. We didn't. I mean, we just didn't do our job a lot of plays, and I think you see the result there. I think they scored 36 points. So, yeah.
Dylan, long before the season ever started, Coach Arena mentioned that game against Albany, you wanted to start establishing an identity. Do you guys feel like you have found your identity yet? And, you know, if so, what is it?
I don't do a lot of thinking about that during the week, to be honest. The bye week will be good to figure out who we are a little bit, and then kind of do some self-scout and figure those things out, and then move forward with what we have, because we feel like we have a lot of good talent in the locker room. We have a lot of great guys, and we're excited about what we can do. We just haven't done it yet. So we'll move into that bye week and learn from things a little bit, and thankfully we have a lot more games to go. So hopefully we'll be able to put what we want on tape.
Dylan, in terms of that bye week, you guys now go in off of a loss. What do you have to do specifically to make it to where that is a productive 10, 11 days instead of one where you guys are maybe lamenting the loss a little too much?
I think in terms of bye week, it's physical and mental. It's kind of a refresher a little bit for guys, and so we're able to get back to those basics that we talk about. You know, being brilliant at the basics, doing simple better, and I think physically guys will get a lot of much needed rest. But I mean, in terms of turning the page and kind of boxing this up and putting this in the past. I'm kind of thankful that we're going into a bye week, because now we can kind of have a little bit of humility moving forward and just say, hey, what are we? And kind of move forward with honesty and tell the truth to each other. And I think a lot of great organizations, great teams are candid with each other, and that's what we're going to try to be in the week moving forward. And so giving candid feedback is huge, and telling the truth, and so we can move forward and fix those issues.
Dylan, fourth straight game that you guys have allowed a touchdown on the last drive of the first half. Is there anything that you guys are seeing concrete that during those drives that you can work on in the next 9, 10, 11 days?
It's just assignment football, yeah. I don't think it's necessarily any special scheme that they're doing, and it's performing well under pressure. It is a little bit coincidental, but it isn't at the same time, because it is a pressure situation, and we recognize that going into it. So we need to kind of focus on our keys, focus on our assignments, and go deal with that. But that's something that we've known. That was something that we had to focus on last year. I remember, I mean, Iowa State came down and scored first drive on us last year, and it's those critical moments that we need to be better in. So coming out of the game, or coming out of the locker room, that first drive of the first half is important. Last drive of the first half, first drive of the second half, 2-minute drill, obviously, at the end of the game. And we haven't been good in critical moments, and that's something that, as we mature as a defense, that will, if we want to go the places we want to go, we're going to have to mature and continue to improve on.
Dylan, I know you haven't had a chance to watch the film yet, but what was it about what OSU was doing on offense that seemed to give you guys issues today?
I think the tempo was something, but that's not something that we didn't expect. They kind of threw their fastballs our way, and we didn't hit them. We pretty much had it down to a T exactly what they were going to run, and I mean, we just weren't able to stop it. And so that comes with assignment football, and we were simplified defensively. We were just not able to stop it, and that comes with fundamentals. And I think obviously I keep going back to the bye week, and that's something beautiful about a bye week, is that you get to focus on the fundamentals and go back to what makes you a good player, because we've been in, the first 4 weeks of football season is camp, and so that's all about fundamentals. And now we've been in, 4 weeks of mostly scheme-oriented meetings and defensive talk and things like that, but we're kind of going back into that camp mindset for this bye week so that we can get back on top of our fundamentals and go about executing the scheme with a great intensity and good fundamental play.
Dylan, OSU converts on 3rd and 4th down today at almost a 50% clip. Was that more you guys not doing the things on 1st and 2nd down to set you guys up for making it more manageable on 3rd and 4th, or was it something on those downs where you guys were just lacking?
I'm not sure. I was. I don't know what the down and distances were on the 3rd downs that you're talking about, because obviously it's harder to stop a 3rd and short than it is a 3rd and long. But kind of like basic defensive football, you want to win 1st down so that 2nd and long, and then not give them manageable 3rd downs, so they have to get into their drop back pass game and get into their screen and draw game. But I mean, just pure observation. I didn't feel like we won 1st down a whole lot today. The drives that we were able to win 1st down, I felt really good about it. But obviously need to move forward and look at the tape, as you alluded to. So.
Dylan, was there a halftime adjustment? You mentioned the deal about Spencer Sanders getting out. Looked like, I think he had 72 yards in the first half, only gained maybe 3 in the second half. Was there something y'all did differently in the second half?
No. I mean, we pretty much played the same calls, and they pretty much did the same stuff too. It was kind of just a matter of going out there and executing. So obviously disappointing that we didn't do that, because we weren't ready to win that big game. But moving forward, we're going to have a lot of other big games. This is a good conference, and so we're excited about the opportunity moving forward for sure. Yeah.
Thanks, Dylan.
All right, thanks, guys.
Quite as good. I'm sorry. You had some good moments today, some that weren't quite as good. Are y'all still trying to kind of find yourselves or a consistent level?
We just need to play to our standard of football all the time. We started slow in the first half, came out at half, started really fast. We just really need to start out fast through the whole game. Just find ourselves at first drive, second drive, third drive, fourth drive throughout the whole game. So yeah.
Connor, when you guys did get within 8 points, and at one point the defense had got an interception and stuff. I mean, are you feeling the momentum start coming in your favor? And did y'all feel like, hey, we've got a shot at this?
I mean, you can obviously feel those times when they happen, when the whole stadium erupts, and you scoring points and stuff. But yeah, we were in multiple opportunities to extend a drive, score, do this or do that. We just didn't execute at those times, in those critical moments, and that's on us. We'll watch the film, we'll address the problems, and then we'll move on from it and fix it.
Connor, a little bit about that 4th down play in the late in the second quarter where Richard gets stopped at the 7-yard line. You guys are turned away there. What kind of the mood was there on the sideline after that play? Because that was kind of a momentum shift right there.
That was one of those plays I said where we didn't execute in a crucial time, and just as an offense, obviously it sucks. It's not ideal, but that's one of those things where you sit down on the bench, take a deep breath and just like address what happened. You know, talk it out to see what like happened on the field, and then the coaches talk, we talk, and then we just move on from the play.
Did you all talk about, did you guys get a chance to look at what broke down there on that play? That allowed Pop to shoot that, make that play?
I mean, it's hard to see when you're on the field, like the replay and stuff, because it happens so fast, and that's when like our coaches talk to us, and like we tell the coach what we saw, they tell us what they saw. I know, like we try and piece together what happened and to fix those issues and like move on from that.
Yeah, Connor, what do you think was the difference between that slow start and when you guys finally got things going?
I mean, we're playing fast, we're playing physical, just like on the sideline. I wouldn't even say on the sideline. We just weren't playing to our standard, you know. And after the first half, we went into the locker room. We talked about it. We addressed the issue, and like in the second half, we came out playing to our standard of football. So.
In terms of, you talked about some of those critical moments that you guys weren't able to come up with the plays that you needed to. Obviously, that's from an X and O's perspective, but is that an energy thing at any point in time, or is that maybe just missing that little bit of execution?
We definitely had points where we were low on that throughout the game, and at those times we need to like take a deep breath and be like, all right, guys, like let's pick it back up, like let's go, and then just like fix the issue like on the field, you know, with us five, and then on the sideline, that's obviously where we can like fix the whole issue. But like on the field, we just need to like keep encouraging each other, offense line to receivers and quarterbacks, to the O-line to running backs, and all that stuff.
It's good to see you guys. A lot of credit to Oklahoma State. You know, I thought that they started fast. I thought that all three sides of it for them played really confident and fast. I thought, you know, I'm proud of our team for the second half that we had and the ability to start that third quarter with some emotion and some energy, which frankly was missing in the first and second quarter. And you know, I thought there in the third and fourth, there wasn't really a point in time to where, you know, there was someone kind of hiding out or someone kind of looking for a break or any of that. I thought there was fight all the way. So way proud of that. I thought, you know, there's a lot to be learned from there. But, you know, there's a lot to be learned from the first half. It's disappointing the way that we started. And, you know, I think there was a time, we had staff meet earlier this morning, and part of the talk was, you know, I feel almost like a really strong confidence, and we're going to find out whether it's grounded or not, right? Is this confidence grounded in reality, grounded in kind of work put in and all of it? Because the last time you kind of felt this was a couple weeks ago, and we had a similar result. And so I think, you know, for us as a staff, and for me particularly, kind of working through some of that and reading the signs of kind of where the youth of the team is and how they are reading kind of, hey, this game means this, and all the outside things that really we have to kind of limit, I think is really going to be a key for the rest of the season. And it's a big lesson for me. But with that, I'll take any questions you guys got.
Yeah, Dave, on Monday, you mentioned their speed. They really flashed it in a lot of places today. What was it like just trying to deal with just the speed they have in so many different spots?
Yeah, I thought particularly special teams, you know, we were outplayed in that area. And it was disappointing to see. And, you know, you look at it from our side, just all the improvement that has to take place there to get us to where we are a viable outfit. And so, you know, a lot of good learning that's got to go on. I think it'll be good with some of the time we have to get some of the emotions with some of the players and the staff out of it so we can address kind of just the reality of it. But I thought that, you know, it's Oklahoma State's a fast team. They're a good team. And, you know, we are too. And so I think our ability to kind of take the lessons learned and apply them and not weaponize them, is really going to be key.
Dave, you go for it a few times on fourth down, deep in your own territory there in the second half. Was that just a matter of that's what the numbers told you to do, or did you have this feeling that you were going to have to kind of start chasing the game?
Yeah, I think it was both. I think the numbers were saying that, but then I think the feeling was that it also becomes you're racing against the clock, and I think that's when those real aggressive fourth, what was it, balls on the 30 or whatever it is, that's when those kind of come into play, is when the clock's an issue and possessions are dwindling.
Dave, Oklahoma State had the punt where they pinned y'all deep, and then they got the safety. It's easy for fans, easy for us when a play goes wrong to go, what are they thinking? What did y'all see that made you think a pitch was a good idea in the end zone?
Yeah, I think that was what Oklahoma State was doing versus that wing set. They were playing with two basically defensive ends, and so that was somewhat of a particular new set that they've been playing just versus us. And so that really kind of showed itself on that particular play. And so credit goes to them. I think we've got two tight ends at the point of attack, and you wish that all of that would have been better. But, I think that play in particular had been a positive play just a week earlier. And so I think we were looking at it from that lens. But, I go back to that special teams prior to that. I think we just have to handle that better. I think the hidden yardage in this is not really good for the Baylor Bears. And so I think that of all of the three sides of the ball and all of it, that's the one area that we must have improvement.
Back to the speed of Oklahoma State. Second year in a row, you played Iowa State, an emotional win, different style. Oklahoma State the next week that creates different problems. How hard is that to adjust from week to week?
Well, I think it's a really good question, because I think for the coaches, probably not. For the players, probably so, because I think after the win, it's kind of like, we got this. Here we are. We made this. And it'd be so much easier if they told you that. Right? If they just offered that to you so you could kind of talk it through and set it straight. And I think so much of with just the youth of all of it is really kind of attacking it. We have to get it at that level and really address what they're thinking and they're feeling, because you get to these Saturdays after games, it's too late, And I feel like probably the week prior we were able to do that. Myself and some of the staff, and really kind of get to what we're thinking or what the team's really thinking. And I feel like I probably could have done a better job at that this week. Because I think with some of the youth, everything is a thing. And I think, if we think that we're making a right turn, they may be thinking we're making a left. And even though all the words and everything are saying right. And so I just think it's very vital that we all get on the same page in terms of what it takes to win a Big 12 game.
Dave, you had 4 games to break your own secondary down, and then today, what are you seeing from your defensive backs right now that maybe you need to really work on in this bye week before you guys head to West Virginia?
No, appreciate that. I think there is a lot of improvement that can be had just with our corner play with vertical kind of go balls. And some of it is when we're bailing in a third, which is probably easier to do. Some of it is in man when we're in press and there's someone winning or losing the line of scrimmage, so it's a little bit harder to do. And then some of it is when we're in cover two, and we're getting a reroute on one, and we have to exit angle and kind of take away kind of a hole shot between the corner and the safety. And so I think all of that is there. And I think some of the fight when you're trying to improve that is that one thing affects the other thing, And then it starts to it's almost like quicksand, you feel. Wherever you step, you're gonna get sunk in. And so that may be where we're at a little bit. And so I think our ability to, hey, dude, you've got all the tools. You've got all the ability. right? One thing doesn't affect the other thing, right? Let's just take the emotion out and focus on what we can do better. I think that's the message.
Coach in the back. Obviously, you mentioned special teams a little bit, but when you just look at the box score, you outgain them. Time of possession's about the same. You actually have more yards per play than them, and you lose by double digits.
Mm-hmm.
On some of those key plays that probably impacted that, from an offense versus defensive perspective, what did they do right that you guys weren't able to replicate?
I think it's a really good question. I think there's a lot of confidence with them, and I would probably call that grounded confidence. I think we're not there yet, and I think some of that is, hey, this ain't last year, And I think the other thing is, I think the sacrifices that it takes for guys throughout the week to continually kind of attack just the process and just the grind of it. I think from a bye week perspective, it's probably good timing for us because of the grind that we've been through. But I think, everything is training for something. And I think those attitudes that we bring into it really matter because that's what you're training, If it's kind of, I'm in the thing and it's like, and it's all that, then that's what it becomes. That's what you're training. That's what you're repping. Whereas if I'm really attacking this or attacking that, and I think that's a me problem right here. I can do a lot better with that, right? And I think I have to be probably more black and white with that in terms of expectations.
Dave, Spencer Sanders had like 72 yards rushing in the first half. Hardly did any in the second half. Was that a halftime adjustment or was it just execution better?
I think the energy level was better. Yeah, I think our energy level was better. And so we were able to match that. I think there's times in the first half just on the sideline, just in huddles where it was as if someone drained our blood from our faces. And it felt like that, and didn't feel that at all in the second half.
Dave, what seemed different to you, especially in the first half offensively this week after seeming to kind of get a good rhythm going last week at Iowa State? And then how did you adjust it at halftime? Because you did start the second half much faster offensively than the first.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think it's energy again, I think, in the first half, I felt that, I guess you could argue, hey, that first drive, something could have happened here or something could have happened here and maybe it'd be different. It's crazy how life is like that. But I think, overall on offense though, right, there was more energy when we would kind of huddle, I use this as an example. When we would huddle to run off on the field in the first half, I would be kind of bumping into guys, kind of let's get going. The second half, I didn't do that one time. And so it was just a way different energy level there. And I think, you look at it throughout the week, I thought we had a good week. I thought that there was effort being given. And so I think really for us, like the task within the task, like what are we really doing when we're doing what we're doing is really where we've got to get some answers and get some connection between, veteran players, younger players, offensive players, defensive players, special teams players, coaches. We got to get connected in that. Thank you guys.